Again, FBI brass telling Facebook, of course, to censor American citizens. To censor American citizens. The federal government telling a company to censor free speech. And then, of course, offering $1 million to dig up dirt on a political candidate that they did not like. The FBI offered Christopher Steele $1 million to prove the dossier claims senior FBI analysis testifies. Now, for those of you who don't know, Christopher Steele is the man who's responsible for the dossier that reported that Trump was a Russian asset that turned out not to be true. You know, the misinformation the media spread that, of course, they will not be fined for spreading misinformation for, unlike, of course, what happened to Alex Jones. And the FBI paid, or were trying to offer him, $1 million to prove those claims. Now, mind you, the FBI was told to stay away from Hunter Biden, to stay away from the Hunter Biden story 100%. But when it came to Trump, they were willing to pay a man $1 million for dirt. Absolutely insane. And mind you, this is from CNN. This is from CNN we got right now, right? This is not a right-wing news source here. CNN reporting on this. Shortly before the 2016 election, the FBI offered retired British spy Christopher Steele up to $1 million to prove the explosive allegations of his dossier about Donald Trump. A senior FBI analyst testified Tuesday. The cash offering was made during an overseas October 2016 meeting between Steele and several top FBI officials who were trying to collaborate. Steele's claims that the Trump campaign was colluding with the Russians to win the election. FBI supervisor Brian Aton testified that Steele never got the money because he could not prove the allegations. Now, mind you, this is 2016. Steele could not prove the allegations. And yet, the FBI continued to push this nonsense. The media continued to push this nonsense, even though they offered a $1 million cash amount if it could be proven. And the guy could not prove it. Yet they still pushed it. They knew what they were doing. They knew they were going to try to tie him up for 4 years. Now listen, I am not a huge, jump on the Trump train kind of guy myself. I like Trump for what he did. But I'll be honest, I was not supporting him in 2016. I voted for him reluctantly in a presidential election, but when it came to the midterms, I hated the guy. I was either Rand Paul or Ted Cruz. All right, and Rand Paul obviously didn't stand a chance. He's obviously my preferred candidate, being more libertarian. Ted Cruz is at least a constitutionalist for the most part, even if I understand why people don't like him. I understand it. But for the most part, I find him to be mostly a constitutionalist. So I was supporting Ted Cruz mostly. I didn't like Trump. I didn't like the way he spoke. I didn't like the way he held himself. All right, I'm more of a traditionalist with a lot of stuff. I want to see a politician go up there and quote Cicero. I don't want to see him go up there and call someone a fat cow, as funny as it was, and it was pretty funny. But that's not what I want to really see from a president. Yet, when it was him and Hillary, I pulled the lever for Trump. I thought he actually did an amazing job compared to what I thought he would do, to be honest. I have to say, back in 2008, when he talked about running for office, people asked me, well, how good do you think Trump would be as president if he did run? Because they knew I was reading it might have been Art of the, I forget which it was. It was one of Trump's books back then when I was still in school. And I said he would make a big government run more effective, but he would not reduce the size of government. And surprise, surprise, he made a big government run more effective, but he did reduce the size of government every now and again. I was greatly surprised by that. So he earned my respect. I voted for him proudly in 2020. But in 2016, the FBI knew at that point that it could not be proven, that the allegations against Trump were basically complete false. If you offer someone $1 million to prove their allegations and they still can't prove it, what do you have to go on? Really, what do you have to go on? If you've offered someone $1 million cash to prove the allegations they couldn't prove it, I'm sorry, at that point, I'm just going to say all of your stuff is total BS. Yet they continued it. They continued to go over it again and again kept pushing more and more. And the reason why they kept pushing, in big part, was because, listen, the FBI is liberal. The FBI supports the Democrats. And we have this other story here from the New York Post. FBI brass who warned Facebook about the Hunter Biden laptop were Democrat donors. They were Democrat donors. Now, for one, I think if you probably work in federal government, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to donate to political campaigns. I don't know. Maybe that's going too far. But these people are working for the Democrat Party. They just are. Mind you, the FBI raided Veritas because they thought he had the diary of a private citizen, a diary of Joe Biden's daughter. Now, admittedly, we know why they went after that diary. That diary, she claims Joe Biden did sexually inappropriate things with her at a young age. And of course, them raiding their headquarters to get back that diary, I think, proves its validity. However, not only did they raid Project Veritas for that diary, they then went and leaked. Well, geez, they're doing a whole video here about a monkey. Okay, I need to move that down a bit. That's distracting. A monkey going crazy. Of course, they play his random videos. So they not only went and raided Project Veritas and took back the diary, but they also then leaked their legal information to, I believe it was The Atlantic, who they were in a lawsuit with. They gave information from their legal counsel over to their opposition in a legal case. All right, that is how up the FBI has become. The FBI was sent to investigate a rope pull of a garage door at a NASCAR race. All right, the FBI needs to be complete. Here's the thing. Here's the problem. When it comes to anyone who's worked in corporate America understands that when the culture of a company dies, the only thing you're really left to do at that point is mass layoffs to a point where you can then hire so many. You need to at least lay off around 60-70% of your staff to then bring in new staff so that you can build up a new culture. Because once it's a bad culture in a company is a cancer. It spreads and it spreads and spreads. And it's very, very hard to get rid of. It is very hard. If you don't get rid of it soon enough, it's terminal, right? There's no way you're going to get it out. Same goes with the FBI. The FBI has a cancer in it. And that cancer is, of course, biased politics, biased leftist politics. And again, these people have no values. Leftism doesn't have a value. Leftism believes might makes right. Leftism believes, of course, in the ideas that, the ends justify the means. Now, go further on the right spectrum, what do you get? You get, of course, the constitutionalists, the libertarians, the anarchists, stuff like that. And yes, I do believe anarchism is on the far right. The way I look at it is the far left is more centralized power. Far right is less centralized power. You go to the extreme right, guess what? You get anarchy. Go to extreme left, you get communism. Communism and leftism has no real values other than the end goal. That's it. Whatever it takes to get to the end goal, they will do. People on the right understand that values must come first. So the FBI being run by leftists, it means they will do anything to get to that end goal. The ends always will justify the means to them. And for them here, it was, again, FBI brass telling Facebook, of course, to censor American citizens. The federal government telling a company to censor free speech. And then, of course, offering $1 million to dig up dirt on a political candidate that they did not like. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. If you enjoyed it, you'll probably enjoy some of the other videos we got here on the channel, and you can check some of them out right over here. Plus, if you want to watch the live show, it is Thursdays at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So wake up early, grab yourself a hot cup of coffee, and I will see you there.